Now, in writing about the Holocaust, one of the main things that I wrote about in the first article was titled Silence. And I want to explore the silence. And in a way, it will be connected to the things I talked at the personal level last time we spoke. Universally, it has been claimed that survivors refuse to talk, unwilling to talk about what happened to them. And very often negative terminology was attached to that reluctance or unwillingness or difficulties of talking. Me as a family therapist, and because of my also personal background, I was particularly keen to explore and then write about the interactive aspects of the silence, by which I once wrote, and I like that sentence very much, that silence, like talking, is interactive. When people are silent, it rarely is just about them. It's about the others, their therapist, their own family, society at large, and so on and so forth. And I think survivors, to a very large degree, remain silent because the attitude of those who could have or should have been interested in listening to them. They showed little interest, unwillingness to listen, unwillingness to inquire, often stated directly or indirectly that if you survived, you must have survived because of some immoral, unethical ways that you have gone about it. And often, particularly in Israel, they were also accused of going to slaughter like lamb to slaughters, that they did not fight. And that contributed greatly to their reluctance to speak, I have no doubt about. And what happened was that, maybe I could also add something else. I said before that people did not come to see me because of the Holocaust. The majority of survivors who I saw did not come to see me willingly. They came because their children made them, or encouraged them, or asked them, or requested, or something. But I noticed that rarely did a survivor refuse to talk with me about their Holocaust experiences. That does not mean that they told me everything. I say it even as a generality. There have been very few survivors who probably talked about everything, but there are also very few who didn't say anything. Even those who were by and large silent did talk to some degree and did talk to some people and not to others. So the children who often would say to me that our parents didn't tell us anything about the Holocaust, you know what was the first question I would ask them? No. I would say, so how do you know that they have been through the Holocaust? And then when they start thinking about it, they realize that, they had some information, something was told to them. But when I worked with survivors, and if they arrive, say, in my office because their daughter asked them to come and see me because of something or another, and I would say things like, oh, I noticed their accent, so I say, do you speak Yiddish? Nobody has ever refused to answer that question. And then I would say, where were you born? And people would answer. And after one or two more questions, I would ask a very simple question like, so where did you spend the war years? No person has walked out of my room in disgust because I've asked the question. And usually they would tell me a little bit or a lot. And it has not been an issue of difficulty for me, in that if you allow yourself to feel your way, people are willing to tell you a little or a lot. And that also made me, in a way, angry, because it was not a problem to try to get people to talk to me to some degree. You wanted to ask something or say something?
No, I guess that it's because you didn't have a fear of what they were going to say. And I think the world at large, and maybe other therapists and other mental health professionals, were frightened.
That's right.
Of the enormity of what might come out, because it was the Holocaust in everybody's eyes is so enormous.
I agree with that. The question is, what happened to other therapists and to other people, not just therapists? But maybe I should start with therapists themselves. One, you use the word, which I think is correct, that people were frightened or reluctant. They didn't have the language, they didn't have the experience, and many believed in the concept of re-traumatizing, meaning this, that if I open it up to conversation, it'll explode and it'll be terrible. So one way or another, people avoided. It's not in the words themselves, but in the unspoken. What was the message that I guess I would have tried to convey, or conveyed without even trying? One, that I am interested in hearing. I would like to hear. I think I can take it. After a while also, that I've been there before. I've talked to other survivors. And I'm not promising you that just because you tell me everything will be all right, because I know it won't be all right. I don't have some unrealistic expectation or false expectation of what I can offer you. But what I can offer you is, I would like to hear if you are willing to talk to me.